So my last video cut off as my alarm started going off, but I don't remember where I left off because that video is uploading as we speak. But as I was saying, I think I was saying anyway. So if we're so-called conscious and we're all for our people, we're all for forward advancement, and we all understand what's going on in the world, then why are we not all on the same wavelength? Why is that? Why is it that we are still divided, even though you're so-called conscious or conscience? At the end of the day, you shouldn't be writing me talking about, oh, we fear for your life, sister, blah blah blah. Because that was the problem with Malcolm X. That was the problem with Martin Luther King. You got all these people, you know, who say, oh, we feel for your life, but we're behind you, blah blah blah. Well, if you behind me, I shouldn't be fearing mine. You shouldn't, I mean, if you behind me, you shouldn't be telling me, oh, I fear for your life, I pray for you, and all this other stuff, because you shouldn't be afraid. You should be right there with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you should be right there with me. Because, like I said, we only move in numbers. The only way anything is going to change or anything can manifest itself is when you move in numbers. There are people who still have not found these videos. They have not found other people who have a like mind type of mentality. This video could reach 1 million people. It could reach 10 million people. But if people don't comprehend, or you still have those who aren't getting these videos, who really are about this forward advancement or whatever, then what's the purpose? What's the purpose? Because if it's just for entertainment, if it's just for show, or if it's just another way to make money, that defeats the purpose. Because again, like I was saying in the last video, all you're going to do is put yourself in a position for the white man's money, which is getting ready to inflate. It's already inflated. It ain't worth a damn anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's only worth something to American people because because capitalism is still working here. They still got that blanket of propaganda to make you believe that you in the richest country, that you know you just sitting pretty or whatever. No, that ain't the case. That is not the case. America is a target. America is a target. Don't nobody give a fuck about America. Don't nobody want to negotiate with America. Don't nobody want to sit down and have tea with America. None of that. There is none of that going on. So, a slave in history, a slave uprising was always one of the best things to happen. It was always one of the best things to happen. And it's going to be that way once it happens again. Once it happens again. But how many people are really, truly ready to get there? And I don't just mean to go out there acting dumb. I mean to really strategize it. I mean to really become effective. Like, if you don't understand that, then how can you call yourself conscious? Because at the end of the day, it's all about actually coming together. Physically coming together. Physically. Not just sitting on Facebook or whatever. Because at the end of the day, do you know that all these tweets and posts and all of that stuff doesn't do anything but put more money into their pocket? Even if I was to get famous or whatever and call myself putting it back into my community or whatever, do you not still see the fountain going? Even if I put it back into the black community, that's still going to keep me striving, because these same black hands that I'm putting this money into, they're going to give it right back to the white man. Or the powers that be. You're going to give it right back there. Because black people, we still don't understand that even if we did have money coming into it, like, it has to stay within our community. But that's not going to be the expectation of America. It's to keep it going into their pockets. The only way that you can do anything is to hurt them by the pockets. But I don't think too many of us have grasped that concept yet. So don't inbox me or comment to me, oh, I'm praying for you. Oh, I fear for your life or whatever. No. If you're truly about all this stuff, stand with me. And not necessarily with me. Not necessarily with me per se. But within your community, if you know somebody who is doing all of this types of things or whatever within your community, you should want to do all of that. You shouldn't want to be on Facebook all day at the end of the day, because once these videos reach the next person who's like-minded and they are near you, then that actually physically becomes your brother, your sister. You know, it within the nation. They may not be a part of your lineage, your bloodline and all of that stuff, but when you really about that nation building, they become that just because. You want to take them under your wing. When you become this so-called conscious or whatever, everybody's problems become your problems. Because we understand, we feel each other. We get it, you know. Which is why all these people who like to hate on my campaign, you can do whatever you want to do. But at the end of the day, I'm not sitting around waiting on Jesus to send up no goddamn collection plate. I'm sorry. I'm not going to get on my hands and knees anymore to these empty-ass prayers. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, why accept a prayer from somebody who could physically fucking help you? If it, like the Joel Osteen, you know, that one post, you know, dude is up here like you sitting on millions. You are sitting on millions. You know what I'm saying? Like, and a man is reaching out to you, telling you, I have suicidal thoughts. I'm going through it, man. I really need you. I don't need your prayer. I need you. Instead of you even reaching out to the man and say, hey, are you for real about this? Now, I reached out to the man. I did reach out to the man to ask him, like, were you serious? Like, do you seriously want to commit suicide or whatever? Like, you know, let me know, like, if you were serious or not serious about this, because this is nothing to play with. And the man still has not written me back or whatever, but that's water under the bridge. Point of the matter is, Joel Osteen's response is to send him to the suicide line. A suicide hotline? That's the best you could do? And you sitting on millions. This man is telling you, like, I don't need all of that. I need you. He ain't do it. What does that say? And don't sit up here and tell me, oh, well, he's just not a real Christian or whatever. Man, bye. Because this is the whole problem. This is the whole problem. You got these, you know, you have these religious issues or whatever, like all these people who are so-called filled, you know, with so much love and all this other stuff, and Jesus is filled with so much love, and they're the representation of how God loves, and they're here to extend that message out to you. Yet brother man hitting you up, telling you, well, I need you, I ain't got no job, I ain't got no money, I'm going through it, like I'm suicidal, I need your help. And you say, oh, I'm gonna pray for you, and send his ass to a suicide hotline, to a mental institution, or to a group of people who ain't gonna do nothing but make this man pay for their fucking services of what they consider to be therapeutic. You know, like, just goofy stuff like that. So if you're really conscious, you shouldn't be looking at me or writing me, be like, oh, share my videos, blah, blah, blah. Like, I mean, I want to share your videos. I don't have a problem with that. How else are we going to reach each other? But don't try to act like I don't understand at the same time what you are doing. You don't really have your people at heart and stuff like that. You looking for some type of fame and spotlight and all that other type of stuff. And I ain't the type of person that like all of that. Now, granted, my videos get some attention. People flock my way. Granted. But anybody who knows me, they'll tell you, I don't like people. I don't even like people. Like this so-called conscious or conscience thing or whatever people trying to throw on me or whatever, it is newfound. I'm not that social of a person, but at the same time, now that I am aware of everything and the type of person that I am, I'm loving, so loving. And I can never understand why there's so much evil going on in this world, why things are the way that they are. And now that I get it, It's like, man, this is why we don't love each other. This is why this will forever be a problem. You know, like, we're still oppressed. We're still slaves. We're still trained to hate each other. You know what I'm saying? When at the end of the day, it shouldn't be that way. It just shouldn't be that way. And I'm not a racist, but I am prejudiced. And it's not that I don't understand that people are people and that you have to take people on an individual basis at times. But at the end of the day, I love black people. At the end of the day, no offense, but there's nothing that a white man can do for me that a black man can't. There is no relation to me with a European. You know what I'm saying? Like, I relate to black people. Point blank in the period. I feel like myself with black people. Now, granted, I got people who I can't stand because they niggas, but because of that mentality. But at the same time, I don't be hanging around with Becky Sue, Ellen. I don't be hanging around these people. I don't think that that Mark Stickleheimer's jokes are that funny. No, I think Eddie Griffith's funny. Like, I think he's hilarious. You know, like, and he talks about real shit. Things that other people are just clapping like, oh, he was so funny, he was dope. But you ain't hearing him, though. You ain't hearing him. He hipping you to some shit. He's letting you know what's going on, but you don't see that. These are the things that you need to be pointing out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like black people. I'm going to stand for black people over white people any day. No matter, I don't even give a shit to go into that anymore. No matter what your skin complexion is or your ethnicity, all black people are the same to me. When you're black, you're black. You're melanated, you're black. You have pigment, you are black. I don't even care if your mama white and your daddy black. It doesn't matter. You got that melanin in your skin, you are black. You know, like, and I'm just going to always do that. Now, granted, you have your good white people. You have white people who will stand for you, and I applaud these white people. They understand the system. They know how it works. They recognize black people for who they are. I get it. I love you. I commend you. I feel like love is love. People flock to whomever they flock to, but at the end of the day, I'm all for the black family. I am. I'm also for, if you want to break it down, because there are some people who don't agree that all black people are what I claim are black. You got some who argue that. I still say that that's a coon mentality. But should you have it that way? If you want to break it down even more, fine. I'm all for the black American. I'm all for the black American. I stand for the black family. There is nothing more powerful than a black man, a black woman, our black kids, and we raise them in our black community. You raise them to love their own. That is what I believe in. That is just me. You know what I'm saying? That's not to say, and that, well, fuck all of that. At the end of the day, you're not going to understand that when you don't physically pull yourself out of that world where you have white people or whatever, because at the end of the day, they are all privileged over you. At the end of the day, even the lower class ones, they still have some type of privilege over top of you. So at the end of the day, if you don't separate yourself from that, how can you strengthen anything? That's like in your own home. Nation building starts within your own home. When you have it that way, when you start from in your home and you trying to fix home issues, how is your mama in them opinion, gonna strengthen your household? Because at the end of the day, you have outside influence. Even though that is your mama, your sister, your brother, your uncle, your cousin, your father. It doesn't matter. Your best friend, your coach. It doesn't matter who it is. When you have outside opinions, you can't build your home. And that's what it is. It's going to start from within our own homes, but it's got to go out into the community as well. At the end of the day, how do you strengthen from within unless you separate yourself from the outside? And non-blacks are the outside. Those are the outside. Now, if you want to break it down to Black Americans, then you say, okay, then Black Americans. But then that shuts out Jamaicans who are here in America. That shuts out the Africans who are from Nigeria, who are from New Guinea, who are from Botswana, who are from Kenya, you know, who are here in the United States. That is separating them. That's separating them. But how can you do that? Because at the end of the day, they're still Black. At the end of the day, they're still Black. And although they may be a different ethnicity, although they may be another ethnicity, they still have the same things in common with you, and they understand things the way that you do. Now, granted, this ain't the case for all of them, but it's the case for enough of them. Because if you stop focusing on the people who don't get it and focus on the people who do get it, you're going to keep drawing those people in. And eventually, as things get better, the people who are not on board, they're going to start to see different things, and they're going to start floating in that direction. But when you sitting around finger bullying each other on Facebook and stuff, when you do that, nobody believes in what you're talking about. They don't believe it, because at the end of the day, that makes you know better than them. Get it? I hope you do.